Hi, I'm Chester Elton, and I'm delighted to be presenting with my good friend and co-author, Adrian Gostick. Adrian, wave to the crowd.
Hi, everybody.
And we are delighted to be a part of the H.O. Hurt lecture series in 2020 on gratitude. As many of you know, we've written a wonderful book called Leading with Gratitude, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So, let's get started. Adrian?
Well, thanks. And thanks, everybody, for taking a few minutes to be with us. This is a leadership series, but it's really for everybody. We know that everybody can access and learn from this. And everybody at Erie Insurance is a leader. So I want you to think about, for just a moment, a watch or a clock that has Roman numerals on it. And I want you to think about 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, how would you write that Roman numeral 4 on a watch? We've all looked at a watch probably 1,000 times with Roman numerals, or a clock on the wall with Roman numerals. How would you write it? Wouldn't you typically do 1 and then a V? That's 4, right? And yet almost every watch or clock is not. It's 4 ones. Check it out. You may want to pause right now and Google it, because you probably won't believe me. But it's true. Now, this dates back to Roman times on a sundial. That if they wrote it 1, 2, 3, 4, it actually had some religious significance. So they made it I, instead of the I and the V, they made it 4 I's. Now, the point is, we have to look at things in a very different way. We may have looked at something 1,000 times in the past, but really never seen the details. And that's what this series is going to do for us. We're going to look at the details of leadership. We're going to look at things in a very different way. For example, Chester Elton right now is going to talk to you about assuming positive intent, something that sometimes we don't do. Right, Chester?
Exactly. And I really appreciate in that example, you didn't call me 4 Eyes, because I wear glasses. Anyway, assuming positive intent, or API, as a lot of people have said. We were really inspired in the interviews we did for our book with Indira Nooyi. She's the past CEO of the Pepsi bottling company. And, it was really interesting. She said, when you assume negative intent, you tend to vilify people. When you assume positive intent, it opens doors and conversations. So another really interesting story that we came across was an executive called Lynn Carnes. Now, she was a risk management executive at a bank. And so her job was to look for stuff that was going wrong, right? So her mentality was assume positive intent. She said, I was always of the mentality that somebody was out to get me. Well, she had one of those aha moments, as we all do. And for her, it was at an airport. Now, she became an executive coach. And so she was traveling around the world, meeting with various executives. And of course, she had all the stuff you need to get through the airport quickly, TSA and pre-check and all that great stuff. So she was in the expert traveler line. When she looked up, because the line wasn't moving, she realized there was a young mother at the front of the line who clearly was not an expert traveler, with the stroller and the baby and all the bags that come with it. And she said, how did she get in this line? Why, how could she do this to me? When that aha moment kicked in, she said, in that moment, because she was harried, she actually took her baby, the most precious thing in her life, and put her on that dirty floor that had been walked over by sticky shoes all day, right? And that's when I realized that she wasn't out to get me. She was just trying to get to her gate like I was. So I left my bags and I went over and said, can I help? And that was the moment where she said, I needed to assume positive intent. And that's what great leaders do. People come to work wanting to do a good job, and along the way, they're going to make mistakes. And you know what? That's okay. Now, we've got a great little video for you to show what happens when, even in our personal lives, when we assume negative intent, we can misinterpret the situation. So let's roll the video.
Hey, kid. You got to get down. Come on.